Amidst the vast ocean, there is a species of bird dubbed the greatest pirates of the sky, the Frigatebirds.
They possess a wingspan of up to 2 meters, but their plumage is completely non-waterproof. If they land on the sea surface, they will become waterlogged and drown immediately. It is this paradox of nature that has turned them into the most ruthless and ingenious predators on the planet.
In the distance, flocks of boobies with their bellies stuffed full of fish are exhaustedly flying back to the island after a grueling day of diving in the sea. A large-scale ambush is already scheduled in midair. They do not know that in the higher cloud layers, the pitch-black silhouettes of the Frigatebirds are hovering and waiting. The target has been selected, a poor booby bird flying detached from its flock. Immediately, 2 Frigatebirds plunge down like 2 black arrows, closing in on the victim from both sides. They use their giant wingspan to block the flight path, using their sharp hooked beaks to threaten. The Frigatebirds continuously peck at the tail and wings, forcing the victim into a dead end. The pressure is too great. To escape, the booby is forced to regurgitate all the fish in its stomach to reduce its weight.
A perfect trophy, with no need to dive into the water, requiring only ruthlessness and supreme flying skills. But those proud gladiators do not only know how to fight, they also have another life to complete. When the breeding season arrives, these bandits shed their fierce appearance to embark on a grand journey, maintaining the lineage. The arid cliffs on the deserted island suddenly become one of the bustling love stages on the planet. The male birds begin to display the secret weapon bestowed upon them by nature, the gular pouch under their throat. Look! Hundreds of males line up close to each other, tilting their heads toward the sky, creating a breathtakingly vibrant red carpet. They inflate the pouch with air, turning it into a giant balloon, bright red like a burning spark of fire. When a female bird flies past, the entire flock of males begins to vibrate their long wings, making clicking sounds like battle drums. A female bird has been attracted. She slowly lands next to the winner with the largest and most vibrant throat pouch. They touch their beaks together, a silent but sacred betrothal ritual amidst the open sea. After the nod of the female, the couple begins to join hands in building their home. But for the Frigatebird, finding a dry branch on this barren island is harder than finding a needle in a haystack. And this is when their pirate nature rises up fiercely once again. Instead of searching on their own, the male frequently lies in wait to steal twigs from the nests of unsuspecting neighbors. Flash battles, fiery pecks take place continuously just for a piece of dry wood. Finally, the crude, flimsy nest is also completed on the cliff jutting out to the sea. The female will lay only a single egg, the priceless treasure of the entire breeding season. This egg carries their only hope, and it will be protected with their very lives. For 50 long days, the father and mother must take turns incubating the egg without a single moment of slack. Because they cannot land on the water to forage quickly, one bird has to fly to the distant sea, hundreds of kilometers away, while the remaining bird must starve at home. Under the scorching sun of the tropics or the roaring ocean storms, the father bird still stands completely still like a statue. He uses the warmth from his chest to protect the egg against the harsh, salty winds.
This patience is the fragile boundary between the life and death of the next generation. Then the momentous day arrives. The eggshell cracks open, and a tiny life steps out into the world. At this time, the threat comes not only from the weather, but also from the other hungry adult frigatebirds around.
Just if the parents leave the nest for a single second, the chick can turn into a meal for someone else immediately. Therefore, during the first few weeks, there is always a large shadow of either the father or the mother sheltering and warming it all day long.
Frigatebirds hold an astonishing record. They have the longest parental care period of all seabirds. They take more than a year just to raise a single child.
In contrast to the majestic appearance of its parents, the newly hatched chick is completely naked, weak, and blind. It looks like a pure white cotton ball, tiny and trembling in the sea breeze. As the chick grows, the amount of food it needs becomes colossal. Watching the scene of the parents returning, opening their mouths so that the child can thrust its entire vulnerable head deep into their throat to eat the regurgitated food, one can truly see the greatness of maternal love.
After about 6 months, the father bird will leave, leaving the mother bird alone to shoulder the responsibility for the remaining half year. The mother's energy is depleted. Her body grows gaunt, but her maternal instinct does not allow her to give up. By this time, the chick has put on its adult plumage, and its size is already equal to its mother's, but it is still a child that likes to beg.
It is time for the young bird to write the story of its own life. It begins to stand at the edge of the nest, spreading its nearly 2-meter wide wings to catch the sea breezes. And then the first jump. The young bird launches itself into the infinite void. There are painful falls down the cliffs, but the desire for freedom has lifted its wings to fly up. It begins to learn the ultimate survival lesson, plunging down to snatch flying fish right above the water's surface without getting its feathers wet. And, more importantly, it must relearn the very skill that sustained its ancestors, tailing, attacking, and robbing the prey of other birds right in midair.
The first lessons of life are full of clumsiness, and there are days when its stomach is completely empty. But that is the price of growing up. When the young bird has mastered the sky, the mother bird quietly leaves, never returning to the nest again.
Now, a new warrior of the ocean has truly been born. It heads straight out to the vast open sea, carrying the genetic code of the uncrowned kings.
The cycle of life continues once more. Proud, harsh, but utterly glorious under the sunset of the ocean.